That's one of those.
Not to get you all hyped up, but what has VFW done for me lately?
It's an interesting, because it's a veteran podcast. I know which one you're talking about. What has it done for me lately? To me means that's someone who hasn't done anything within any of the organizations. They either went to one meeting and had a bad experience, or went to one meeting and said, we need to be doing this, we need to be doing that, and all the people went, whoa, hang on here, let's get one thing done at a time, and then they walked out going, well, they don't want to do anything because I threw out 5 ideas and they didn't like any of those 5 ideas. That could have happened, or I don't know, maybe this particular person is looking at it from the outside in. I mean, what has the VFW done for you lately? What about the PACT Act? The largest piece of veteran legislation to pass in over a decade. And that encompasses our generation, but it also brings in some of the stuff for the Vietnam generation as well. Just to honor the PACT Act, I mean, if you're watching on TV at that time, it is VFW members. The Washington office that we have, Christina Keenan up there, who, I forget what her official title was, but she serves on our legislative staff at the national level, talking about the PACT Act, trying to get these senators to, get off their butts and pass it to help our current generation for burn pits and toxins. So, and that was round the clock for weeks. They don't see that at the national convention, we had a QR code that was put up on screen to basically send a message to every single senator and congressperson that's in your district. Everybody in the audience, you're talking at a national convention, they put this up on the massive screen, pointing their phones up, clicking on that thing, and sending an automatic message to their representatives like, you need to pass this. That was thousands of people doing that. What have we done for you lately? Just that one thing right there is probably one of the largest pieces of legislation you're going to see in years. You're talking about, the Elizabeth Dole Act for caregivers. That passed. That was a major push by the VFW. We're working on some other things to end concurrent receipt through the Major Richard Starr Act. We've been working on that for years. We hopefully have got it down this year for Congress to do it, but we'll see.
I know his wife's not going to give up.
Yeah. It's all the work that is done by all these posts. And that's just, on the legislative side right there. And I know it's like the VSOs. What have you done to get involved? What have you done to help make things better? It's easy. I'd say it's easy to have a podcast and go off the rails on something. I've seen some of those before. Was it Angry Cop out in Buffalo?
Oh,
goes off on just a tangent. He yells and screams and they want you to buy stuff to support his podcast.
Yeah.
It's easy to go on social media like Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all those other sites and just, hey, I'm going to type in my comments because I don't like what they're doing. It's harder to get involved. It's harder for me to drive all the way up here to do this, but it's important. And because I think it's important, I am willing to make that sacrifice of time to be up here to do this right here. It was important for me to go around the entire state, my year as state commander, because we were coming out of COVID, to get everybody rallied up and get things going again. It's important for us to go out to Washington to talk to our legislators and know them and let them know that, hey, these are the things that we care about. So
I'd almost say it's not what has the VFW done for me lately. It's almost what have you done for veterans lately?
Yeah, what are you doing? I mean, it's great. You got a podcast.
We can all put it bluntly, shit talk, right?
Yeah.
But even when I was in my unit, right? Sometimes we have a little bit disgruntled, right? But what are you going to do to help fix it?
Yeah.
Bickering to bicker, like what can you do to make it just a little bit better every single day or every single month that you go, or maybe go to one event per year? Or what can you do to make the VFW better?
I'll tell you,
any organization.
Even when I was senior vice commander and then state commander, I would always have people walk up to me, members, be like, this is wrong. This needs to be fixed. Why do you think it needs to be fixed? Well, because this isn't right and we need to change how we're doing this. Present me a solution because I think it's running just fine. But if you
sound like my old team.
Well,
but it's true though. Like if you think it's
present me with a solution. And if that solution is viable, you're going to be the chairperson and we'll get a committee put together around you and you can make it happen. I said that every single time. In 2 years, I had one person actually step up and go, present me with a solution And then I said, fine, you're going to be the chairperson and you're going to make it happen. Everyone else just went, you're the state commander. You need to figure it out. It's like, what we're doing is absolutely running great right now. It's an issue for you because you don't like that you have to do something a little different, or you have to actually do something before when you weren't. So
makes sense.
yeah.
So the VFW, right, has done a lot of things like we talked about. And I think one podcast aside, the VFW's done a lot. Some of the success stories, and one of the things too that it's always a statistic that I always say every single time I talk to somebody, that 60% of veterans don't know what benefits are available to them. And I didn't believe it at first. I was like, there's no way. Like, everybody knows what benefits are available. Like, how do you not know? Like, and then I got thinking about it. I was on a cold call for real estate, right? Calling a guy up on the phone, talking to him. He's like, yeah, I'm just not interested. I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I had a VA loan before. Like, my health was really bad. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry to hear about your health. Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, just not feeling good. I'm like, well, are you getting VA benefits? No. I'm like, well, when did you serve? And he tells me, I'm like, well, have you heard of the PACT Act? Like you're saying. He's like, I'm like, well, if you have bronchitis, rhinitis, you get lung cancer, if you're in Vietnam, all these pre-existing conditions that I could come up with in my head that I knew right away. And he's like, I never knew about that. So here's a guy that's struggling every single day. Now that PACT Act, if he files a VA claim, which hopefully he does, will increase his income, help him get healthcare benefits, VA care, all that stuff. So like, talk about a story of somebody who's benefiting from the VFW. That guy could be the one that's good, not the one, but one of the many thousands that are going to benefit greatly from the work that the VFW is doing every single day for veterans.
Yep.
So one of the questions, why does the VFW remain vital?